got the hits. We got the gist. This is Lagos' #1 lifestyle station, City 1051 FM.
Died Dear Zani lawyers are saying the plans by the federal government to commence extradition process that would see Mrs. Dear Zani Alice Maduke, former petroleum minister, returning to Nigeria to stand trial for alleged corruption may not be easy to accomplish. Says lawyers who spoke on her behalf. Now, according to them, Dear Zani's extradition will largely depend on the decision of the UK courts in respect of the matter, not merely because Nigeria has made known its intention as such. Now, Dr. Simeon Igbinedion, a lecturer in the Department of Jurisprudence and International Law, Faculty of Law, University of Lagos, said although corruption is an extraditable offense under the extradition treaty that exists between Nigeria and the UK, so much will depend on whether or not UK court rule in favor of the move.
Okay, first of all, let's assume that Designer is extradited to Nigeria.
Yes.
She will be in a better place. And now I'd say that's because they're going to hold.
If she's in Nigeria?
Yes, I think so, because they're only going to hold her temporarily. She'll be granted bail, and then they continue to frustrate the judicial process, and the case will go on for another 3 to 5 years, and before you know it, the FCC will lose because of lack of diligent prosecution. Just yesterday, watching the news, I didn't even know that Ladoja's case was still on.
I saw it recently.
She'll be in a better place if she's in Nigeria to face the music. But yes, I agree with what the professor of law has said. The UK has to show that it's willing to work with the Nigerian government to get us to the end of this.
If only they can tell what the intentions are.
Yes, because it has assumed a political coloration. Clearly, I think that Dezani has a case to answer.
You see, this thing about Dezani is pure propaganda. It's because they virtually achieved nothing. The people from the last, the public servants or the civil servants from the last administration who they accuse of the grossest corruption, we've not seen them go to jail. You know, the other day I mentioned this, and some people say, oh, governor this, governor that. Those were from 2007. I'm talking about the government that Buhari blames for all the corruption, the worst corruption. He hasn't put any of them in jail. Now it's getting to election time. He wants to throw this story. If you want to get someone extradited, you start from from about 2015. You should have started this move, because it's something that needs a lot of bureaucracy. It's not something you say, oh, in October of 2018, I want this person. Then they're going to throw the person at you. Now, the last thing I want to say is that Britain has put some word out about the government of Nigeria and how we don't obey court orders. So definitely they would consider this in, okay, if we release this woman to you and she goes to court and the court says she's free to go, you could just detain her for life, because that's what you do. So they would like to be in that position that they will be like, oh, we were the ones that, you know, put this woman in harm's way. So it's going to be, it's in fact, for now, I'm going to say it's impossible for them to bring her before their tenure ends.
Lagos, let's have you talking to us this morning. Call us up on 0700 105 11051 and 0909 916 4403. Please turn down the volume on your audio set. When you call us in, it's a live show, and tell us your name, where you're calling from, and you have 60 seconds for your contemplations. Topical issues this morning right here on City 1051. Hello, good morning.
City 1051 FM.
Thank you very much, Elijah Zuba. Any thoughts, gentlemen?
Yeah, I mean,
any thoughts?
his point is right.
Yeah.
I mean, every summer you find governors and senators and other government appointees abroad going for the graduation ceremony of their children. And because of that, they owe us no efforts to improve the quality of education in this country. And those who don't send their children abroad, many of them have private universities. Don't forget that President Obasanjo has a university, Atiku has a university, Orisha Jafo has a university. There's so many of the religious leaders have universities that even their church members cannot afford to send their children to. And many of these churches are built with, and many of these universities are built with contributions of the congregation to the churches. So yes, they don't have a sense of belonging, even to the health system. It's the same thing. So he's a medical doctor. One would have expected that he'll pay a lot of attention to the medical system in the country.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to say congratulations to us. The poverty capital of the world, we have the largest cathedral in the whole wide world. That is such an achievement.
Well, it's his achievement. I respect I respect our religious leader for the infrastructure they are building in Nigeria. Government would not do it. There's no. Do we have anything like that anywhere in Nigeria? Even if it's for the public, you know. I respect them for what they do. They build these universities, they build these rooms. What was it called? Is it a cathedral or what's it called?
Yeah,
but then, yeah, the dome, people can use it. I can rent it, maybe, and he employed people in building it. I don't blame him. I blame
about 8
The
to
system
10,000
that has
people.
allowed such a drive is what we should blame.
It's the government officials that we should blame, and the people who keep celebrating the mediocrity of these people. I showed you a picture of the head of the NUC. He went to his son's graduation. He went and he took pictures and they posted it online. You know, we allow this kind of things happen, and we don't tear our shirts and say, like they say in the Bible, rent our clothes and pour ash on our heads.
Topical issues. Hello. Crazy. Good morning. All right, let's do this, gentlemen. We'll go for a quick break and we'll come back, Lagos. We'll take more of your phone calls, your tweets, and your WhatsApp messages.
City 1051 FM.
I would like to apologize to our sports fans and listeners this morning that due to some unforeseen circumstances and situation beyond our control, we will not be bringing you your daily dose of sports update, but I promise you tomorrow you will have your sports update come true to you on Sports City. Alright, now let's get talking still this morning. Interesting, it seems like Adams Oshomole is coming under a great criticism and all of the hammer by his own kinsman. Now, the Imo State Governor, Rochas Okorocha, again yesterday criticized the national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, over the way the party's primaries were conducted in his state. Now, he said the former Edo State Governor only succeeded in denting the party's image with the injustice displayed during the primaries. He spoke at a press conference he addressed at the government house in Owerri, the state capital. Is this crime foul? Is this cherry picking by the state governor, Rochas Okorocha?
Indeed it is. This is the kind of injustice that should be permitted when you want to foist your son-in-law on the people. And some way, somehow you get to lose out in the power game or in the power equation. So yes, I mean, I don't see this. This is crying wolf where there's none.
Oh, well, there's a wolf. There are two wolves. There are two wolves. Okorocha brought his wolf. Oshomole brought his. And Oshomole's own killed. Oshomole's own killed Okorocha. So the thing is, if he's been saying this thing over and over again, this is every day he wakes up to just say the same thing. Oshomole cheated me. They've set up an in-house committee, peace committee or something like that, to resolve their issues. And Buhari has said,
you don't. To court.
Yeah, Buhari has said you are free to go to court. Don't let anybody stop you from going to court. So either Okorocha goes to court or he settles with them inside their resolution system. But this noise is enough now. You should continue with government work. And
let's take two more calls this morning and then go straight to Twitter and WhatsApp. Topical issues. Hello, good morning.
City 1051 FM.
Thank you so much.
I think we have to clear something. If I say Babajide is a bad person, but then Benny Ark is the worst human being in the world, and I'm allowed to let them face justice, I may be able to punish Babajide, but I will ensure that I punish Benny. That's what I'm saying. They came to us. I was in Buhari campaign. I campaigned for Buhari. I was with the man. So in my own presence in Muson Center, he said it, that this is the Jonathan government was the worst ever, the most corrupt, and they are trying to use corruption to kill Nigeria. And what he said specifically is that if we don't kill this corruption, it will kill Nigeria. It has gotten to that point. Now, how will you tell me that of these people who you say are the worst band of thieves, you've not convicted any of them? So that's my issue. Put them, convict them. There are still some here. The military chiefs from the old regime who stole so much. Yeah. I was expecting Buhari to leave them in the army so they face court-martial, but the first thing he did was to sack them. And now he sacked them. They are in the regular civilian courts, and it's just dragging, and he says it's the judge's fault. These men were military men. They could have faced court-martial. You came and you removed them from that quick justice, and you put them in this system that is not,
let's take some comments this morning on WhatsApp. With all due respect, the comments on Nejeeb on Diazani has further proving that Nejeeb is not only biased but unbelievably uninformed as an analyst. I'm missing. Okay, thank you. And this from James.
You see,
yeah. Okay. No, it's alright. Let him respond. It's fine. It's okay.
I think a lot of people waste time attacking people. Like, a lot of them say their comments, and we listen and we say, oh, cool. you don't have to. If you have a different opinion, say your
Absolutely.
different opinion, and we will see how that goes.
That's right. More this morning on WhatsApp. The greatest danger to the 2019 elections is the partial Nigerian police force. They now back any illegal action by the ruling APC. They did it in Benue Assembly, seal off. They aided the rigging of the Osun rerun governorship elections. They have done it again at the Akwa Ibom Assembly by aiding 5 members in their attempt to impeach the governor. Our partisan police force is an invitation to anarchy. Dominic from Ikorodu. Any thoughts on that, Babatube? A partisan police force.
Yes, you see, as long as the police is centrally controlled, there would always be political coloration. There will always be some form of partisanship, because as much as the governor of the state is the chief executive and chief security officer, he can't give orders to the commissioner of police. The commissioner of police will always take instructions from the inspector general of police, and that means he has to do his bidding.
Daily Martins in Lagos says there is apprehension by the peace-loving Nigerians daily on the likely use of Nigerian police to subvert their franchise in 2019 elections. The show of shame presently going on in Akwa Ibom is an addition to Ekiti and Osun episodes under the watch of the president, who is supposed to bring the police to order for disregarding directives of Senate to unseal the State House of Assembly. We really need the help of the international community to put the present federal government of Nigeria on the path of rule of law. Do we need the help of the international community at this point in time, Nejeeb?
The police definitely is biased in this whole, in all the elections we've held recently. And I've always held the thought that it should not be the executive government that should give orders to the police. I believe the judiciary should be the ones giving orders to the police, because then it will be less chaotic than it is right now. Some of the governors, we know what they do to try to counter the police. Some of them go as far as setting up militia and arming this militia. In case, just look at what happened in Akwa Ibom. To an extent, thugs had to go in there. Some political thugs had to go in there to help these people. And we know it's their thugs. They burnt down someone's car right there. That's not the way security should be done. You don't have to rely on thugs. So if we had the judiciary who don't rely on elections to be in office, they will have better control of our military, our police.
Good morning, guys. What's happening in Nigeria now is just distraction. We should stand up and say no to all these shenanigans and vote right come 2019. God bless Nigeria. Edozie Dean Nejeeb. First time, thank you for sending your WhatsApp messages, and please keep sending them in. We appreciate it. Topical issues. Do not waste your time on the write-up article. It wouldn't work even looking at the character, and the accident by shorthands don't work for me, bro. Please, if you're sending me messages, make sure you're writing in full. It makes it hard for me to read like I can't.
Why you say, bro? Is that not short?
Well, it's, at least it's spoken. It's not written. All right, still on WhatsApp this morning. Why would former governor expect incumbents to finish their project? Though continuity is good, but it's not a yardstick of judgment. Why are they chewing more than the project they can eat? Akpabio wings are out. Now that is a thought. That's a food for thought. I mean,
why should they rely on income? See, it's not government is a continuum. We keep saying this. We first and foremost, we are saying Akpabio did put a lot of infrastructure on ground, and we are saying maintenance, not necessarily finishing up the project. But then a governor should be able to start a project and expect that, because it's government, it's not your private business.
Yeah.
Expect that the next person coming would see the sense in this and continue it. And that's why governors need to carry the House of Assembly along.
That's the contemplation. That's the argument. Must I continue if I have a different policy I feel is going to favor what I want to achieve for the state?
As long as the
must there be continuity? At the end of the day, I feel your policies might not enhance what I want to achieve for the state.
Benny, wait, let me tell you something.
I believe in continuity.
If a governor should go to a state assembly
Yes.
and say, I want to build Fort Mainland Bridge, and they approve 300 billion for it, and it's halfway built before the governor is out, then a new governor comes and say, I don't know, you can't, because the state assembly by law has said we are putting this money on this project. You can't now say personally you don't like the Fort Mainland Bridge. It's a waste of money, and it should be even illegal.
Hold your thoughts right there, Nejeeb.
1051 FM.
A special edition of Topical Issues extending into the 8 o'clock hour. Apologies once again to our fans, our sports fans and listeners, due to some unforeseen circumstances beyond our control. Your sports show will not be aired this morning, but I promise you tomorrow it will be back. Yes, USA Nejeeb.
So I think if the legislators, if the House of Assembly members have legislated in the budget that they are going to build a project with one governor, and the governor builds it halfway according to what was budgeted, the next year if a new governor comes in, he has no right to say, I won't continue. It has now become law. They said the budget is law.
But I mean, it's reservations mostly on internal structures and internal happenings, how the work is internally should be. Now, using the Fort Mainland Bridge as an example, that is a huge project. It's beyond a state governor.
Indeed.
No, it is beyond a state governor. Yeah, it is beyond a state
Fashola
governor.
promised us a Fort Mainland.
Where is it? Fashola promised it, somebody also promised it. Don't forget.
And you know the issue of the Fort Mainland Bridge started right from the tenure of Ashiwaju Bola Ahmed Bola Tinubu himself. That was when the proposed Fort Mainland Bridge started.
The Fort Mainland Bridge, I think it's a white elephant project that the government cannot afford to fund. It's something that is needed, but it can only be achieved through private sector funding. And what we should expect that is going to be a bridge that will be towed, because that will be towed. Told investors will need to recoup their money. And if you remember, I think it was the first day of Ambodi's government, because he promised that he was going to do it in the build-up to the election. There was a phony agreement signing thing, and of course I told someone that thing is never going to happen. And about 18 months after, nothing happened. Visible assets.
More WhatsApp this morning, Chasson said, until all families are notified, no names of fallen soldiers are mentioned anywhere in the world. Okay, you don't call us on WhatsApp. Anywhere in the world, CNN reported 3 American deaths yesterday. No names were mentioned. That means the families haven't been contacted.
Okay, well, let's say we're giving them the benefits of that and see if that's going to happen.
More WhatsApp this morning. What's happening in Akwa Ibom is case of self-interest of some people. Our politicians are not for us. They just want their own interests to come first before the people. By God, we shall be free from these devilish politicians. And this is from Amao Olukbenga. All right, more on WhatsApp this morning, then I go to Twitter immediately. If only Nigerians would know better that most politicians in power are the same. Akpabio from PDP, even as a commissioner and governor, he's now in APC and a troubled thorn in the state he governed. We saw Akpabio with PMB in the UK. Akpabio and Ita Enang now associate a man he almost killed politically. And this is Andy from Yaba. On the WhatsApp this morning, we have... now, I want to respond to you, Oluwabumi Doze. Your top-up will be sent to you, okay? And so I think I take exception to you saying you guys have not done anything about topping up my phone. It was a promise we made. We don't owe you. And so you hold up. The top-up will be sent to you, all right? We keep to our word. So there is a process to it. If it was coming from me, I would have given it to you. But the station has given it to you. So there is a process. There is an internal process that must be followed. So please be patient and don't come on Twitter tweeting about this. Thank you very much. Atinuka says this issue, a strike here and there. These politicians are good for nothing, but God will judge them. Our universities is a cry. It's very terrible. We don't simply care about others. That's way too bad as human beings, not animals. Emmanuel Iheme called them rulers. That's what they are. All those in the hands of affairs in Nigeria are rulers and businessmen playing business with the future of our children. They can afford schools abroad and allow our children language in strikes here. Too bad. And Fine Williams says the Metele attack has once again proven that some of our military men act as Boko Haram informants, and this needs to be nipped in the bud. Now, that's an allegation. Though Tua Dantuma came out and said there's a whole lot of connivers going on.
It's possible. I can't say definitely, but I think it's possible. However, what worries me is why our military intelligence and our police and our DSS can't also infiltrate Boko Haram to know how to attack them best, where to get their leaders best. I don't know why we can't employ that same thing we are being accused of, or our military is being accused of. We should.
All right, more on Twitter this morning. The Azani extradition to Nigeria is simply witch hunt. can an official EFCC tell Nigerians where they were when Kemi Adeosun in connivance with the federal government was sneaked out of Nigeria? I wonder what will become of the EFCC when Buhari is out. This Emmanuel Iheme. Atinuke says, neither OBJ, PYO, GJ, Atiku, PMB, all these men haven't needed to rule us. They'll spend their age and want to spend the age of their children too. So Buhari was a young and old president. Same with OBJ, Abi. Continue, he says. Emmanuel Akbar, it's obvious that military leadership, service chiefs have failed the officers. They should go. Please help ask presidency how they are fighting corruption if they aren't ready to cut down on cost of running governance to allow the cash flow to all and sundry, so they don't want to pay the 30K minimum wage. God will judge them all. Jolly Agawa, good morning, please. My candid advice to Okorocha this morning: he should stop the daydreaming of his son-in-law becoming the next governor of Imo State. He should accept his defeat and hide his head in shame. There is no point forcing himself on Imolites, he says. There is no need talking seriously. The edited version of Femi Adesina's interview on one of the media platforms yesterday that the military can't publish names of slain soldiers, just to let him know that all countries publish names. I have warned that we should keep military away from democracy, but it seems that this APC Buhari's administration are head-bent on disrupting democracy. What is going on in Akwa Ibom State is condemnable, and it's sad that Buhari is silent. Why would former governor expect incumbents to finish their project? Though continuity is good, but it's not a yardstick of judgment. Why are they chewing more than the project they can eat? Continuity, is it a yardstick? That's what he's saying. It's not a yardstick of judgment to say a government is doing well or a government is failing. Then what is, Babajide?
Yeah, of course, every chief executive has the right to choose what he feels that should be continued. I mean, if you talk about infrastructural projects, then it's ultimately to the benefit of the people. If a road is being constructed and one governor doesn't complete it, the responsibility is now on the shoulder of another government or governor to complete it. It's not because you don't like the person that you say you discontinue a project. Government is a continuum. The people must be the priority. Now, quickly talking about master plan or Akpabio's agenda for the state. Akpabio's agenda for the state is, in his view, the best part-time. When you're out, for instance, somebody coming to say that Japanese master plan is the best for Lagos. Somebody coming to say that Tinubu's master plan is the best for Lagos. At the time you were developing that master plan, it was based on the situation of the state or the nation at that time. So governments, after you, have a right to adjust to suit the current realities. So that thing about the master plan for 10 years, for 20 years, nobody should lay claim to such.
Okay,
You know, in terms of governance and continuity of projects, every governor has to make sure they set out projects that they must finish within their tenure. But now there are some important projects for the state, for even the federal, that would take, some could take a decade to complete. Saying that a governor should not start building the third mainland bridge because he will not finish it means that we'll continue to suffer in traffic every day like this. So there are some major projects that would take more than 4 years. You can't stop people from
No,
going.
I'm not saying.
No, I'm not arguing with you. I'm trying to just make a point to the public that there are things that would take more than one or even more than 2 tenors to complete.
The real line is one of them.
Exactly.
Gentlemen, we need to wrap this up in a bit. Now, Kangbelina, I'm seeing your message on Twitter. You said Benny doesn't read my messages. I've decided to stop sending any, maybe until Benny returns. I'm reading your message right now. That's the message I'm seeing. So I don't know what message you're talking about, but I see your message of Kangbelina on Twitter, and I just read it out. So what are the message?
Okay, send another one.
Send another message. Where did you send your message to? If it's on WhatsApp, I'm sorry, I don't see names on WhatsApp. I only see numbers, and I just punch and open it up, and I read. So sorry about that. If you do send your messages, I will read it. There are tons of messages we can't read every single day on the show. And lastly, this morning on Twitter, project by state governments are simply used as majorly to embezzle public funds. They always start projects they know they can't finish. You look at the needless construction going on at Oshodi, and you understand what I'm talking about. Patton Schwartz, gentlemen.
I think Ambode has promised to finish the Oshodi project before leaving office. He should do that. It's too big for him to just go out like that. And then the power issue we've been talking about. In Edo State, did we mention that in Edo State, the governor walked the BEDC MD out of his office because of the poor power they've been receiving for several months now. So that's what happened in Edo State. And BEDC supplies Ekiti, Ondo, Delta, and they've been suffering for lack of electricity. We hope to see better, but right now we're struggling with 4,000 megawatts. It's nothing compared to the whole of Nigeria, what we can consume.
My point is that people should be more discerning in deciding who to vote for. Don't allow yourself to be used as cannon fodder. In the build-up to the election, some of these politicians will send their children out of the country in case anything goes wrong. So don't allow yourself to be used unduly.
There you have it, Lagos City, Nigeria, an extension of topical issues at exactly 8:11. Thank you for being part of the show this morning. Your tweets, your WhatsApp messages, and your phone calls. Topical issues out. Once again, apologies for not being able to bring you your favorite sports show, Sports City. But we'll be back tomorrow at exactly 7:45. All right, so our apologies. Something happened beyond our control, but we have it all together this morning. Yes, Nejeeb.
Did you mention that the Falcons, they won their match?
Oh yeah, congratulations to the Falcons. Yes, they did. You can follow Babajide on Twitter at Babajide, spelled Babajeeday on Twitter, and Nejeeb also on Twitter at Nejeeb, spelled Nejeeb. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Lagos City. Oh yeah. Oh, put that right, please. Put that right.
Oh, it's Nejeeb. Bello.
Be Nejeeb Bello on Twitter. Lagos City, Nigeria, breakfast in the city. It's way back Wednesday, my favorite day of the week, right here. Don't you touch it.
We got the hits. We got the gist. This is Lagos #1 lifestyle station, City 1051 FM.